clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, 'cause they play football.
The Celtic Terrace TV TikTok. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Terrace TV TikTok. Today we're very kindly joined by Kevin Doyle. Kevin, hello and welcome along.
All right, how you doing, mate?
Not bad, mate, not bad. How's yourself? You've been good?
Aye, I'm very well. I'm very well, yep. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Aye, that's it. So, play Hearts tomorrow, but we'll talk about a wee bit about that as we go on through the show. Just obviously, thanks very much for getting up your Saturday afternoon, mate, and coming on and doing a wee podcast. As I start with everybody, I always say, welcome on, thanks for doing all that. But a wee bird out to the sponsors there. It's WeFrames, sponsor the show of Terrace TV TikTok. So if you're looking to get any bespoke framing done in the small size of your jerseys in the background like that, you can get your own designer stripped in memory lane. Just check them out. They're handcrafted. Many bespoke design frames at WeFrames on Facebook. The link is going along the bottom as we speak. And that's enough for that. Housekeeping stuff. A big shout out to obviously Cameron Commercials and Performance Tires coming out as well. They're always good to us. But first and foremost, Kevin, without further ado, mate, hail, and why is it that you support Celtic?
Well, I didn't actually have a choice, really. Full family of Celtic, born and bred in Parkhead, Lillybank to be precise, went to St Michael's, went to St Mungos, everybody that I knew was Celtic, so it was pretty much signed and sealed when I was born.
That's it. See that it's in. People always say, "What is it?" It's in the blood, isn't it? It's ingrained in you for the minute you're born. People always say, "Oh, you don't choose your team. Your team chooses you." I mean, that can be said for a lot of Celtic fans out there. A lot of teams as well. You just automatically become whatever your dad, your ma, all that, your family is. That's what you're as well. And you're bringing up in East End of Glasgow. Celtic Park's right on your doorstep as well, mate. So,
it's so hard to have a lot.
Aye, listen, mate. It's for us anyway. Genuinely for us, it's a stone's throw. Not, I mean, realistically, where both of us have grown up, and people travel the length and breadth for the country. And even if you move, I mean, see if you move 45 minutes away, drive, still a chore to get to the game and get home for the game. People will say, I don't find that at all, because guys are travelling 6, 8, 10, 12 hours to come and see Celtic, round trips, you know what I mean? So that's after them, and the women as well. Listen, I know a lot of Irish boys are up at midnight, you know what I mean, to start picking people up and then getting the ferry air and all that, and so fair play to them. So Celtic, for you, your team, obviously growing up, what is your earliest memory that you can think of Celtic?
My first earliest memory would probably be the 5-1 game by Lubo. That was my first real memory. I remember the Scottish Cup final with Big Pierre, but it's all vague. So that was 94. My first memory, and I was actually at that game as well.
Well, you're saying it's vague. I was at it. I remember it really well. I was sitting. That was the season. Obviously, we were at Hampden for this season. Used to walk every day. Used to walk every game. Used to walk every game to Hampden there and back from my house, and that felt like a chore. But and then certain parts literally the other side of the road, so to speak, for us. But that was Lubo's first season. Then would have been the 5-1 game. His 2 goals, and they didn't know the magnitude. You watch the videos back now, and he's just looking about as if.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Well, actually, it's got to think of it. I did go to the 2. I think it was 2-1 game, the Scottish Cup with Paolo Di Canio and Malcolm Mackay.
Right.
I'm not sure if that was before. That was before, wasn't it?
It was a 4. I'm sure.
Aye, because Vengos, Dr. Joe was in charge of the 5-1 game, wasn't he?
That's right.
Aye. So
he brought him in. Aye.
They two probably be the standouts for me.
Aye.
So obviously 5-1 being the score.
In that era, at that time, who would have been your obviously I probably know who it's going to be, but who would have been your player, your favourite player at that time, or who was a player you always looked to?
But one, the Paolo Di Canio and Malcolm Mackay, or
no, just at that time you started going to the football, and your first recollection of going to games.
Well, there's a funny story about that, man, because my man and dad used to always get me the Celtic taps, and I think just around about that time with the Tommy Burns, that was when people started getting the names on the back. I wasn't sure if that was the case before it, but so I got this tap, and I got, I think it was a black one. See the black one with a design.
Aye. Yep.
It was black there, and it had like green and sort of a design. And I got Van Hooijdonk, Cadetti, and Di Canio on the back of all three of them. 2 of these ones and 1 of that one, and they all left. Sort of. But
so
my man,
see when you say that they all left, that used to be me, mate. I used to go like, I love that player, and I get the jersey, I get the name, and he'd leave, and I'd be like, I'm not doing it anymore. I mean, so I had people like obscure people say who? I'm like Paul Byrne. I had Paul Byrne my tap. People like, but I said scored one of the best goals I've ever seen at Ibrox. I had Andres Tom in my back. I Cadet, the Canio. No, I mean like that and all. So left. But growing up watching Celtic, going to the games and whatever it might be. Who was your actual hero? Who would you say your hero was growing up?
Well, I loved Cadetti, but I was at that era. Lubo, I loved. I actually loved Mark Reaper.
Right.
I just his name and like the Reaper man and how good a defender he was. I think he was injury prone.
He scored on. We beat Dundee United at Ibrox in the Coca-Cola Cup. I think it was positive Coca-Cola Cup. It was so it was my 21st. It was bang on my 21st. We beat them that day. He scored that day, you know.
Aye.
Shows you. I'm showing my age here, man. Jeez, oh.
I know. I think some of the players when I think I had about 5 or 6 players. I don't really think I had a hero until Martin O'Neill's team came really in. Maybe Henrik or Lubo, but because my man dad said that when I was like 1 and 2, I used to sing Jackanoffsky. So
right.
You could throw him in as well.
Listen, growing up, you're a guy like a wee kid. You've got loads of different heroes, different players, and obviously that wee guy you was kid on. Like, I did it. I don't know if you did, but you used to play football. You would like visage yourself as being one of the players, hitting shots and all that, like commentating to yourself when you're hitting the shot. So things like that.
Because as you know yourself, that Tommy Burns team was tremendous at football. That some of the football he played was magic. You grew up thinking about that football, and you heard my dad talking about the football he played in that, and you sort of wanted to play that way. And I know it's probably a bit of a touchy subject new when you mention his name, like Di Canio, but Di Canio was a fabulous football player.
Aye. Just obviously he's. No, you go, mate.
That goal at Aberdeen when it was like Henrik-esque when he tipped it to the goalie, or it did wee dink and tapped it in. And it was just when he ran out of the crowd. That's a memory that I've got. You know what I mean?
Aye.
You know yourself.
My memory of that is he does that. He dinks it there. He scores a goal, and Simon Donnelly runs there, and Simon Donnelly's pointing to the boots.
Aye, that's right. Aye, because he had them. I actually got them as well. I get them. I don't know if it was like a replica made, but I got them for Christmas one time.
Aye, Pintora Deloro or something like that. They were calling it. Something like that. Well, but remember the guy for was it Sports Division or JJB bought him in an auction. I think it was like 35 grand. So he did, and then raffled them off in his shop. Somebody actually won them in JJB or Sports Division. I'm sure it was Sports Division. I'm thinking about it.
Was that the one at the Forge?
Aye. So absolute mental, mate. But I think back then you had really good players back there, back in that era. And for me, that I'm a centenary guy, mate. Kev, I like everything about centenary onwards. But that period of time when Martin was in Celtic had a really strong team. So did the other side of the city, and big massive players in Scottish football. I mean, even Dundee were signing people like Caniggia, Ravanelli, and Zadze. And you're thinking now that there's not really any big massive names coming into Scottish football, so to speak. You know what I mean? Which is madness. No. So
as you just said, that was the Martin O'Neill era was unbelievable. Some of the players that you were watching, and you were sitting saying to yourself, I'll never see a Lubo again. I'll never see a Henrik again. I'll never see like Paul Lambert, Petrov. Just the players are so unique, but they gave you and how good you are, and just having a bit. I mean, Lambert won the European Cup. Do you know what I mean? Petrov, a good career in England. I mean, Lubo, we all know about Lubo, but his career wasn't really, for some strange reason, I don't even know. That's the biggest mystery to me, how he never. But
I hit the heights
the
that
English
you're thinking.
Premiership. Aye,
Well,
Bundesliga.
keep me as a bit of period of time he was older. You know what I mean? That was a big deal. Who was signing this 30, 32, 33-year-old, whatever it was. But then you hear people talking about him, like people like Zinedine Zidane saying, who's the best player? Like, aye, living room where I've checked, the guy's got unbelievable skill. Even people like Larson, Sutton, Hartson and that, McNamara talk about him and say that to this day, we don't actually know if Lubo was left-footed or right-footed because he was so good with both feet. He was just natural talent. But for us, pretty spoiled at that period of time, mate. We were definitely spoiled. At that. So you started going to games. Who were you going to games with? You going with your ma, your dad, your family, or that, or your friends?
No, well, I actually went with my ma's cousin, John. We had a season ticket then. That was a 5-1 game, the Liverpool game that season. My ex-brother-in-law, Paddy, we had a season ticket doing it at the front of the Lisbon Lions end with the game I was talking about with Hardy Canio and the Malky Mackay game.
Yep, sure.
We had a season ticket that year, so and then it's been like broken up. I've had it for 2 or 3 years, and then another, and then I had it for 2 or 3 years, and then another, and then since 2008, I've had a season ticket since. So,
circumstances. I always say that to people. I remember when Tommy Burns got sacked, mate. I was absolutely raging, mate, to the point I gave my season book up, and I wish knew that I'd never used my season book up because it was a year. To be fair, it was a good year because what I'd end up doing, I realised that I wasn't going to get a season book, so I went and stewarded for a year at Celtic Park, and I was very, very fortunate that the section I get put into was the partially sighted section to the left-hand side of the Celtic dugout as you're looking at the pitch. So at the first gate, I was down the gate, so I used to sit down at the very bottom of the step to watch the crowd. So I used to sit with my horn in the gate, but I used to watch the screen. I used to just sit in the horn, and then at that. So I always remember the 6-2 game. Like looking back and thinking, I was right earlier. I would have been right at that point. Now, and I seen the steward coming out and things. And it was all mad. It was thinking back to a time when you were actually steward and you were saying, what did I actually steward for? And I've still got my hat, my skip, and my tie for it. And it was called Protect Event Scotland was the name of the company, which was Celtic's own company. But I always look back at like the 6-2 game and seeing guys running on the pitch at that bit, and I'm saying, would I have stopped him? Or would I have let him on apart now with things that are trying to go on? But that was my gate, and I was very, very fortunate to get that. Considering I'd only started stewarding, I think my first game they put me on the turnstile with another guy who shows how to do that. And then other guys like, we'll get you moved, you man, you go and watch your football, I'm all right. And they got me moved. My second game I was there, I did get that sort of a chance to go and watch the game while I was stewarding, so it's really good. But so obviously you're saying that you went with like your ex-brother-in-law and you're going with your family and things like that. When did you ever start going just like yourself, meeting up with people, your mates? What age were you about that time?
Well, I went with my dad for a good few years. So it was just a case I got to the game with him and going home after it or going out and playing football or whatever. Or, as you know yourself, I used to play snooker.
Mm-hmm.
So when I flew to the game, I used to go up to like the Masters and have a few boys about and maybe have a wee drink in the bar. Well, when I was about 17, 18, but before all that, I was just going up and playing snooker. So I never really. It was just got to the game and that was it. It wasn't until I was about 2021 where I went to the pub and then I went to like European games and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So see you going to the games with your dad. How good is that, Kevin? How good is that feeling? And you can sit with your dad and like after the games and like even like looking back, right? So say like 5 years later, for instance, or whatever it might have been, sitting down with your dad and then speaking about the football and talking about games you were at together and things happening. How good is it to reminisce like that, mate? I mean, it's
great.
Never get it back.
Aye, great memories. I mean, when I was really younger, Celtic played Rangers and Celtic scored. My dad used to go absolutely mental, and I was still like 13, 14, so I was still going. I was like Lubo's first game. I was sitting going, why everybody's going mental? There's people falling in front of me and all that. And then obviously as I gradually got more and more involved, and I still obviously knew about the rivalry and things like that. But when you see the crowd and you're that age, you take yourself back to 13, 14, you're sitting going, looking around the stadium, you see people falling. you see people, but it was just crazy. It was just carnage. And I used to see my dad going mental, and that was seeing him going like that way after Celtic scoring, or Celtic winning, or Celtic scoring the last minute winner, like Big Vinegar. But
aye.
that
Diving
was
either one.
that was wow.
Mate,
That was unbelievable.
We were quite fortunate that period of time, though, believe it or not, that see if you were 1-0 down, or sometimes maybe you wouldn't be melon 2-0 down, but if you were 2 or you were chasing the game, you'd like 20 minutes to go, you're still saying to yourself, still get Larson's got to come, we've still got this to come off the bench, we never ever had 90 minutes, you're just settling into the game, right, we're going to win this here. You've only got 4 or 5 minutes to actually win it, but somehow these seasons we had the fight, they never said the attitude where we always go to the late winners, you know what I mean, pushing, and I see it now, I see teams sitting in for like 10 minutes at the end of the game. I'm going, don't sit in, man. You're bringing it on yourself. Not even my team. Like other teams, I'm watching other games of football, and I'm saying, push out a wee bit, give yourself more room. If you're midfield sitting on top of your defence, you're bringing it on you. And a lot of teams used to do that, and Celtic loved it because it meant we could push our defence right up. And our defence were playing maybe say just in, let's say just over the halfway line at the edge of the circle, centre circle. So we've got maybe 10 players in, but we have got 10 players in that half pressing against him and playing the ball in about, and you always knew that you've got a chance. Larson would maybe pop up, Sutton, Hearts, and Big Vinegar, as you say, and we've always had that in the locker, so to speak, where we've had the last minute winners, and there's nothing better than a last minute winner because there's no comeback fit, and you say that screaming maniacs like your dad and all your uncles and people around about you knew, then you get that feeling and you start being like that. You know what I mean? And then people were looking at you like your man's going, it's like my dad. You know what I mean?
I owe a lot to my man and dad because they used to get me the season tickets, obviously, when I was younger, and then they go up with tickets to finals and stuff like that. And at one time, my ma got me and my dad tickets for the VIP for a semi-final game at Hampden. I think that was 97, I think it was. We got beat that game, but I think it was 2-1 we got beat. But just getting to experience Hampden in a semi-final, my dad used to take us to finals constantly. Used to pay the tickets and all that. And I used to sit outside the old wee man's. See the old wee man's on the Gallagate? I used to stand outside there. I'd wait for the ball. They were all in there drinking, and we were all the Bains were all outside with our flags
outside
going
a packet of Krishna juice.
On there was a wee hill, there was wee grass beds.
That's right,
all the sons and daughters, the parents, and we just sat, and it was always cup finals, especially the Scottish Cup final. It was always a sunny day.
Always sunny, mate. You needed shades, always needed shades, and that was a good because see, like back then. Well, obviously you'll not remember Hampden in the end because Hampden never used to have a roof. Kevin, my first 4 years there, they never had it was open. The other end was always covered, but our end was always open. It was mad, pure mad. But it was always shades, shorts and shades, short sleeve, Celtic tap, whatever. But absolutely fantastic, mate. So. Obviously, we've touched on a variety of things. You said there as well that going to the games and being outside the wee man. So obviously, later on, you would join a supporters club, a supporters bus to go to away games. So that would be the wee man's running out the wee man's eye.
Yep, with Dennis number 1.
Which is still going now, still going to this day. You know what I mean?
It's been going for 1967.
In the heat of Lisbon, In the heat of Lisbon.
1967 it started in Sword Street, I think.
Right. All right. I just thought, well, there used to be a snooker place up there called DB's just after Sword Street.
That's right.
So
only know that because
next to Remnant Kings. Only know about that snooker place because people used to dog it for the Mungo. I heard. Never really. No sticking them down. I mean, John McGowan, if you're watching, but I used to end up in the Airman afternoons on a Thursday. Kid on with double period of free and all that. The guy, right, okay, but they knew about well done. But so you go to the wee man's member of that bus. How was that? How was it? What's the difference here? You just going with a couple of your mates, your dad, family, and friends, whatever, to go on a supporters bus. How did that feel going to away games?
Well, that bus really looked after you. So they did. They made sure you were fine. They made sure you had tickets. They always ran a bus and it was a proper bus. It was pretty quiet, but at that time I was sort of happy with that. Just got to the games and then got it. They always booked in somewhere before it. So see if you were going somewhere and it was like some of these kick-off times were like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, used to book into a bowling club or a golf club or something, club house, and we used to go in and have a drink in there and things like that, and then obviously get the bus back. But they were all spot on. Again, I went with my dad, and I went with my nephew for a couple of seasons as well. He was on the bus. It was because of him that I would on it.
Right. Who was that? Was that wee Paddy?
All right. He went on it with my dad for a season, and then I went. I actually want to go to away games. So I was going wee bus now and again, and sort of getting my way there and things like that to some away games. And I went, no, I want to go and join a proper bus.
And that must be the Aussian, like obviously like your dad had you going, right? And then he's took the grandman under his wing and started showing him it, and then you're going, and then it's like generations of your family, not I mean it's like 3 generations there realistically. Going and experiencing the football together as a family. And I loved that. I used to go with my Uncle John, my Uncle James, my cousin John, his wife Lorraine, and me. I loved it. Nothing better than going with your uncles and your cousins and that, and experiencing the football. And we went all over the place and all that. I remember that there was a team there called Celtic Nation. They played in Carlisle for a wee while.
I remember that.
A few years back, we ran a few buses to their games, and I took my uncles to that game. And they're like, this is absolute mayhem. How are you on a bus, running a bus? And I went, this is what it's about. This is what reminds me of going with yous and having like the tunes playing on the motor and all that. And I always had to tell when I was going with them, I didn't drink. I mean, I still like playing my own football, but then I got to an age where I could have a beer, and like you were saying, we would get to wherever we would go somewhere, maybe go to the bowling club or whatever, or get there and sit somewhere in a park next to the ground, have a few beers or whatever, hot water, wine, whatever it might have been, you know what I mean? But just things, experiences like that, and they live with you forever and ever, mate. And I mean, there'll be years to come that you and young Patrick will be sitting down and talking about, remember this, Kevin, remember that, or, you know what I mean? And
I was still.
There you go, mate. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Me and Patrick still reminisce about the Samurai School at Ibrox when he took it round McGregor. And as soon as he hit it, as soon as he took it round him, we were like right on line. We just seen the ball rolling in. And it was like one of the ones you were jumping up and down because you knew nobody was doing about the ball to
catch it.
Figure it. You knew where it was going.
Celebrating a foot. I love that. I love that feeling. Right. On that, what is the best goal you've seen then? Obviously, you spoke about Samurai Son and I loved that game, I'll be honest. But what is the best goal you've ever seen, you think? Being there, no on the telly, no a rerun or something, but actually physically being at the game, what would you say?
But any specific game or just any game in general?
Just say, at a Celtic game. You know what I mean? You're not going to turn around and say you're at Scotland playing Holland or something, are you?
I know. Just talk about who we're playing, European or Rangers or
anything at all. Anything at all.
I mean, once I say this, I'll probably go, oh, but there's this one and there's that one. But the Nakamura goal and the Sean Maloney goals
against them,
aye. The one Sean Maloney, I think his full feet came right off the ground.
Aye, you still put the show that now and again. It's amazing to see the technique. You know what I mean?
Yep. And the Nakamura one, obviously, I think it was a Venegoor game, wasn't it?
Yep.
He swerved it and it went. As if it was going that way, and it went that way.
Cannoned it, mate. Aye, absolutely brilliant.
Aye. I mean, they're probably two of the best right now off the top of my head that I can put in the spot that I can say. I mean, there's been a few great goals that you could say that even the Chris Commons one, but when the 3-0 game,
right.
Park, he sort of chipped it there, the ball, and then there was a Jota goal.
See, that's it. Now that you're thinking of one, you're getting more and more, and that's what happens. And I do believe that there's no just any one or two, because you've got maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I'm sitting listening to them saying, I remember, and they were cracking goals, and then I'm saying, for me, latterly, like Tom Roderick's one at Kilmarnock, Tom Roderick's at Ibrox, where he cuts inside and then he scores a goal, and what it is for me, at the exact same point, he stands on that wee guy, baits his leg and breaks his ankle. No, I mean, I'm like, it's things like that, it's mad. But then I'm thinking, like you're saying, Nakamura's goal against Rangers was outstanding, but he's also scored at Kilmarnock, I know, an absolute belter free kick, scored against Man United in Europe, free kicks, and you're saying, like, where does it stop? Where do these goals? You know what I mean? Alan Thompson against Rangers cutting in for the left-hand side, underside of the bar. John Hartson at Liverpool, Europa, and they're on the Seville run. There's so many. And you've just done it there. You said, they probably these two. Then you went on thinking about that Jota one. I'm thinking about this one. And
aye. I mean,
a highlight reel, Kevin, 100 goals. Kev's 100 goals, a highlight reel.
There's another one that's kept in my head was Paul Lambert one, the New Year game.
Tap corner.
He scudded it at the tap corner in the old.
Runs up the line to trip him up.
The temporary stone.
Aye, see, there you go. No, I mean, it's never ending, mate. Never ending. No, I mean,
you see videos and you think to yourself, wow, man.
Aye. I love watching old footage of Celtic playing, mate, and remembering what I was doing or where I was in the ground at that time. You know what I mean? Like, I was up the tap tier, I was there. I was doing that, boating that game, and like the new mate, I'm like a nomad. I am like a nomad. For the standing section opened, I was in the standing section right up to this season. And I just had enough of it, mate. I'd had enough of not being able to see the game because of the flags. I'd had enough of being in that position where if the GB had been banned, I was banned with them. Although I wasn't a member yet. I was in that section of the bottom part of the standing section, so they just done a blanket ban everybody, and I had enough of that. I went into Celtic and I said a few times, and the way I get around about it, mate, was pretty smart, because I went in and I said to them that I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't there, and I was at the game, but I wasn't part of that. I shouldn't be tarred with the same brush as them. They says, well, if you're in the section, that's what it is. I said, well, that's the case, then the old firm should be coming back. And I'm like, what do you mean? I said to get into it. Well, if Celtic are not to do with the old firm, then I'm not to do with the Green Brigade. And he went, right, you're on the list to get your seat moved. And that was it. I was just smart, mate, just a wee bit smarter than the E was. And then at this, just there at the start of the season, but before the season, the news came out and they sent me 5 seats where they wanted me to move to. And I just, for some mad reason, I clicked on the map, Kevin, to see what was available. And there was this one seat right behind the goal at the Celtic end, just above the crossbar, on the same row as my family, who sit the other side of the stairwell.
Right.
And 6, 7 rows behind my mate, 3 rows in front of my other mate. And I went, that's my seat. Right. And I just went and got it. And I clicked on it, got it, and then that's me. And as I say, I'm a nomad. I think I was sitting at one time for I got it, because I'm either give my ticket to somebody else and I go and sit with somebody else, or me and my mate Kev go into maybe one of the lounges through somebody else getting his air pass and swapping about, and just, somebody's like, can you give the wee man the ticket? He wants to go down and sit beside the boys, and I'm like, no bother. And it's just things like that. It's getting, and I give my daughter and her boyfriend go to the game in Onu, and for me that's just a massive big thing, because Chloe was never into football. You know what I mean? But then comes a point in time, maybe about 3-4 years ago, probably a wee bit longer than that, to be honest. She's 26 now, and it was just like she started listening to some music and that. To be fair, she was listening to Liam McGrandle, so I blame him. I blame Liam, because I know Liam really well, and she'd been listening to a few of his, and then I used to play it all the time, and then I would come in and I'd hear it. And remember one time I was walking along the street and I'm going, who's got that on full pelt? Because there's nobody around, you know what I say, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, who's that? And then I get closer and I'm like, that's my house. Again, I'm like, turn that down. And then I'm like, no, just leave it on. And that was it. So her and Martin go quite a bit now, and they're always on to me for tickets. And if I'm not going to be going, which is very, very early, mate, you know that yourself, I don't miss a game. Unless the missus books a holiday by mistake in close season, or I've done it through some stupidity, missed it, before it was a cup week, or it was a Europe, before it was a Scotland week. Actually, it was one time I booked a holiday and it was actually a cup fixture week, and hadn't been obviously the draw hadn't been made. We were even putting the cup that week. I was mad, but great, mate. Goals are amazing, and try to think, as you said there, mate. That's picking a spot. You picked two, and then you went, Toby, there's another magnitude here. You could.
There's so many memories that you've got. The goal doesn't need to be great, but see if it's at the last minute and it's a tap in, you'll remember that forever.
Aye, that's it. That is it. I remember one game, George Cadet, we played Arlo Athletic at Partick Thistle's ground. So we did in the Coca-Cola Cup. And the reason I remember the game is, I know Celtic won, right? But I can't remember anything else about it other than this. George Cadet was man of the match. And usually you get a trophy or you get something. They give George Cadet a Coca-Cola bike, mountain bike.
I actually seen a photo of that no long ago.
I'm like, what is? How is he supposed to get that? How is he going to get that in the bus? Know what I mean? And I was like, this is nuts, man. I just remember that game for that. That and the toilets. The toilets had no roof. At the back of the stone had no roof. You were getting a pee and it was snowing or something. It was raining into you. And then at the end of the game, he gets a bike. And I'm like, what's he supposed to do? A mountain bike?
Right.
Mental. But as you say, like, just things that stick with you. Know what I mean? Best games and things like that and all. It's so hard to pick a best game. Best goals hard, best games hard. But is there any game out there that really, really sticks in your head to that? It might have been a last minute winner. It might have been because you were there with your dad or you were there with somebody, or know what I mean?
Probably the Barcelona game.
In Europe. Aye. See, I was just thinking Europe right away there.
The Barcelona game was, before that, my dad put a bet on Celtic to win that night. Very good odds.
Aye, no surprise because they'd been unbeaten in the competition. I think that'll be up to there.
Because that was the Barcelona team that was probably for me the prime Barcelona, really. Like Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Messi, you're like, wow.
I think we were the only team that Messi hadn't scored against in all the games he'd played against all the teams up to that point.
I think he still has nightmares of Big Foster.
The wall. It was, and know what? People like Tony Watt will live that. He says it himself. He'll live off that for the rest of his life. But on the flip side of that, pretty disappointing that his career never went up the way. Suppose it can't go any higher than where it was at that point in time. But to watch him now, don't get me wrong, he's still making a living out of it. He enjoys the football and he loves football. And that's listen, he got a chance to do something probably anyone else would love to do. You know what I mean?
So that when he scored that goal in that season in particular, I thought he's going right to the tap by the way, this boy, because I think he came on against Motherwell and changed the game. I think we were 1-0 down or something. He came on and scored 2 goals. That was like, and then against Inverness as well, I seen him coming on and did the exact same. And I think it was that season, or maybe that season and the season after the season before. It was around about that time, and I was like, he's got to the top.
He's going places and then doesn't happen, doesn't fulfil him. I think I think Celtic's very, even, well, not just us, but there's other teams out there as well probably have this problem where young boys come in. We've had it, mate. Mikey Johnson for me was probably one of the players that I thought he left us and went to other clubs and done really well and come back, and then didn't he? You're like, how's he going away and playing there and outstanding and coming here? No, you've just not. You can't take the pressure, mate. It's too much for you. Yeah. Know what I mean? You're a fan, and like Tierney's a wee bit different. He's lived every moment of it. He's lived the dreams of people. He stepped up to the plate. He's delivered time and time again. But some people just haven't got the shoulders to carry the weight. And I think, to me, I know no disrespect to Welsh, but I think Welsh is in that same mould, mate, where things don't happen. Things haven't been happening. He picked up a few injuries and things like that. But even at that, I think people are scared to make a mistake at Celtic, mate, especially the young guys. And Welsh and that on the young guys now, know what I mean? They've been about the team for a while, so they should maybe be learning more. But it's still very hard. I wouldn't like to imagine the pressure any of your young boys are on playing at Celtic. Like, young Donovan's doing really well to take that pressure on his shoulders, and he's loving it. And I think that's it. See if you're enjoying your football and you're getting games and you're playing really well and you're not making silly mistakes, I think you can keep building on that and your confidence will get better and better and better. And then you'll grow into that player that the mould, know what I mean? But I think there's players out there, like Tony Watt might have just been too much for him at that point in time, and maybe he was throwing the spotlight too much back then. Know what I mean?
Because you see it all the time, because I said to my dad, I was talking to my dad not long ago about it, I was like, you need a certain arrogance, you need a certain thing to play for Celtic. You need to go through that pressure, and you need to sort of deal with it. And as you said, a lot of players, they've just not got the ability to deal with that pressure. Do you know what I mean? It's a totally different ballgame. I don't think I could play for Celtic.
Well, you've done it, Kevin. You've done it. You were there. You were on the pitch. We played. Remember? You were in the team lineup one time as well. I remember that.
Oh yeah,
but how did you get that? Tell us about that.
I won a competition. I actually won 2 competitions in a trot. one with Alphabet and one with Magners. And it was the one with Alphabet was win a VIP day at Celtic Park, go VIP, meet the players before the game, go in the tunnel, watch them train for the dugout, just things like that. And it was the Alphabet competition. I think the Alphabet competition was spot the ball, and it was obviously like the old pools. You've got about 4 or 5 different boys, and you've got to. And I just guessed like, oh, it's ball C or something. And they replied to my message saying, congratulations, you've won. And then 2 weeks later, Magners ran a competition, and it was to get in the team 40. No, it would have been about 6 months later, because it was to get in the team 40 at the start of the season. And it says, if you were signed for Celtic, what would you bring to the team? What would you bring to the unit? What would you? And I went, an experienced boot cleaner, and googled a photo of a boot cleaning kit, with the brush and all that, and the spray, and they messaged me back saying, congratulations, you've won a day with the first team to get your photo taken and all that, and being what a day that was. But I got slaughtered off Brown because I went with the old high tops with denims. And I had to wear the high tops with my full kit.
Brilliant, man.
I didn't think it through. And Scott Brown's like, is that moon boots you're wearing? And he's like, I think it was Charlie Magruder at times, like, look at this, look at his shoes and all that, because they were the high tops, because I wore them with my denims. But I never even thought about I was going to wear the full kit, obviously, because they're taking a photo of the team.
Aye.
And that was, I did meet I met Scott Brown and Lustig and all that. And at that time, I think I was 28, 29, but I felt like about 14, 15, going up to him going, can I get a photo? Can I get a photo? Can I get a photo?
Mate, it doesn't matter what age you're starstruck. You're always going to be stuck with somebody. I mean, I was very fortunate in all that I get plucked out of obscurity to go in the one club video when they were doing their season book renewals.
With John Clark.
And I was very fortunate. John Clark was absolutely fantastic, mate. Scott Brown that day as well. Tierney was there. Trying to think who else there. James Forrest. There was quite a few players in and around Lennoxtown that day when we were ready to do the filming. It was outstanding, absolutely outstanding, and it was one of the best things I've ever done, but it was also one of the most frighteningest things I've ever done. I took into the room, me and this woman, Mary. I'm still friends with Mary to this day, because she's from Oxbridge and Broxburn CSC, and we get took in and we get introduced to John Clark. I can't talk. I'm just like saying, that's John Clark. I've been lying, know what I mean? And then they bring out the trophy, and the trophy's sitting there, and the guy comes out with the gloves on and all that. Didn't he's got the white gloves on, as if he's the referee snooker, you'll know about that. They put the trophy down, and then he says, like, this is what we're looking today, blah, blah, blah. Right, they bother. So the woman tells us what we're going to do in Murad, and we walk up. So I've just done that, but now we're like, run this. And then I went, right, cut. And she just turned and said, tell me you've got that. Tell me you got that there, didn't you? You've all got that, because we've got 3 cameras. And I went, aye, we've got it. Do we need to do it again? She went, I don't think we do, because I didn't even ask that. I didn't ask, what's your name again, John? And I went, aye. She went, John, I never asked you to do that, and you've done that. I said, well, I was just getting in for the huddle. Let an automatic reaction come in together, and she went, that's actually better than what we could have thought. So we done another couple other clips, and then we went back to the trophy. We looked at it, and she went, I want you to walk into it, but just be annoyed, don't touch it and all that. John Clark went, what do you mean don't touch it? Lift it up. She went, no, I can't lift it. He went, listen, Hen, I want it. The boy wants to lift it, he can lift it. So I was like, right, no bother. So I've lifted it up, and I'm holding it. I'm holding it there for like 10 seconds. And I'm like, this is heavy, by the way. So I want to put it down. So I put it back down. And he went, how was it? I said, that's heavy. He says, aye, but think of big Caesar. Caesar held it like that, son. With his fingertips. He said, above his head, he says, for like 5-10 minutes to show it. He said, he held it up like that. He said, then he put it up higher. And I was like, oh my God. He went, that's how Big Billy held things aloft. I was like, that's amazing. And just things like that were brought. I get my picture, took me, I've got autographs, and or as you say, that I mean, people. And I was quite fortunate because Jerry McCulloch was there doing the stuff for the Celtic telly, and I know Jerry. And he was like, just ask him that, no. And he's like, Scott, you can get a picture, an autograph, and he doesn't want to ask you. And he's like, oh, I've been born a big man. You know what I mean? So nice to you. And it's amazing, mate. But fortunate, very fortunate. Both of us, mate, very, very fortunate to get the opportunities. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it happens enough to a lot of Celtic fans out there. You see people out there that have been going for years that have never had an opportunity to do that, and you think to yourself, Celtic should get together and say, see these fans. My dad's been a season ticket for about 50 years. So what I mean, 60 years, and he's never had an opportunity to sort of do things like that.
I mean, I totally agree with you. Listen, I just sitting there, I've just remembered another thing, and also we won the fans award for FIFA or something like UEFA. It wasn't the Seville one. It was not that long ago, and I get an opportunity to go. I want to go to London to represent the club with like 3 other supporters to go get this fan award, and I can't get time off work. I'm just back for holiday on the Thursday morning, the Wednesday morning. I'll go to work Thursday, Friday, and then I've asked for Saturday off because we were playing, and like right in the bother. So because I couldn't make it, John Paul with the fans leaving officer contacted. He says, John, I've got you a +1 for the pitch on Saturday. We're going to walk around with the trophy. I went, what trophy? Went the fans award. He said, because you couldn't go, well, like you. So I was like, right in the bother. So who do I take? So obviously I was on the bus at the time, and I'd said, like, take young Aidan Gallagher. So I said to Michael, he's like, I need bother, get him on. So it's a pitch, we were on the pitch. You know what I mean? Michael's in it, is like, it was brilliant, because Aidan's like a teeny wee compared to him now, you know what I mean? He's right at Bologna and all that, they're seeing Celtic, and he's doing his own PT gym sessions now and all that. But at that time, he was just a teeny wee guy. And it was amazing just to have that opportunity to take that, the wee man on the park and experience that. But again, very, very fortunate. You know what I mean? Very fortunate. That was probably about maybe 8-9 years ago, mate. That was just fantastic. And as you say, I believe I'm not going to go into it because I'll end up getting off my nut bit, but I do believe there's too many people out there get too much off of Celtic time and time again, and not enough it gets spread out. There's millions of kids out there, mate. The Kano do an absolute fantastic job. Big shout out to the Kano and everything they do, taking all the kids to the game after game after game, and it's not the same kids. It's always different organisations. I mean, they're bringing bussing kids down for Aberdeen, getting kids across the island, and then all the UK. Yeah.
Me and Craig done a charity walk for the Kano.
That's right. You done all the Lisbon Lions. That's right. Tell us a wee bit about that. You done all the birthplaces of the Lisbon Lions, wasn't it? Where they were from?
It was during COVID, and I had done a few things for like York Hill and the Medi Cinema, and I always had the urge to do something for a charity for Celtic. And obviously I seen the Kano Foundation. I had to Craig, I went, try to put our heads together and think of something. So I didn't bother. So we were talking about the Lisbon Lions and that, and we were talking about how close they were to Celtic Park. And I was like, why don't we walk it from Celtic Park to each area that they were born and walk it back? And he went, we looked at the miles and all that, and then before the last one, we went, how are we going to walk to Saltcoats and back? And we went, we'll do that at the end and we'll just walk it to there. So once every 2 weeks, maybe even 2 in a week, we walked it from Celtic Park to each Lisbon Lions home and walked it back. And the last day on a Sunday, we left Celtic Park at 8 o'clock in the morning and got to the Bobby Lennox statue at 9:15 at night. Walked through the fields, walked through farms, and it took us 13, 14 hours. And then the last train back to Glasgow was 10 minutes from we got to the statue. So it was like, right, quick photo. Cheers, see you later on.
Aye, but the good thing about that is the train station's right at the statue.
Aye. Yep. So we
so I've done that myself a few times.
So
get a pitch. I need to go. That train's gone. But that's brilliant.
That,
so many miles was that all in then, if you remember right?
I wrapped it up in the poster now. Mine's went blank on that. It was an extreme amount, because some of the days that we done it was raining and we were absolutely soaked, and then we got to Kirkintilloch and we actually fell down a ditch at the bridge, try to get away from the traffic, because there was a wee bit where you couldn't walk, so you had to, and it was raining, and the two of us decked it, and we had like thorns stuck in my leg and all that, and we're like, that was I think it was Kirkintilloch we walked it to. They obviously walked it back at the Barry McNeil statue, Jimmy Johnson statue. Most places we walked it was either a statue or something that had the sign of where we were.
Aye.
So
that's it. Good stuff. No, that was brilliant. And doing all that, you were raising for the Foundation. Can you remember what you raised? What your target, or did you have a target?
We did have a target, and it was. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. I don't want to say in case somebody goes, no, it was you've got that right. It was only, but it was a.
Well, certainly it's documented. He's put it out. I remember it was on your Facebooks and all that. You know what I mean? And he's done it, and I remember doing that at the time. I was thinking that's amazing. Well done, you. But listen, hat off to you for that. But as you say, not enough people get opportunity and chance. You know what I mean? And you were just doing that and getting something back, and that's. I've done it. I've done the sleep out a couple of times, mate. I know. And I was looking at when they were doing the kitchens. They were doing the 67 kitchens. So it was for Barrafield to Botswana or something. I can't even remember what it was, but that was the whole thing, Barrafield to wherever it was. And the boss at that time, the Barrafield Shamrock, we'd done enough to get enough money to build a kitchen for them and raise funds for them to do that. And that's what it's got, the big plaque. It says on it, built in partnership with Barrafield Shamrock CSC. So just things like that, and Mary's Meals and stuff, helping the food bank and it's just continuing on what the club was founded on and what it was built on, the ethos. And that's just something like you and Craig done that as well. So hats off to you for that, mate. Back into the football side of things, mate. Behind us, there's obviously 4 strips. What would be, and you're wearing one now, what would be your favourite strip of all time, do you think?
Probably the year that we stopped to 10. Home one.
Aye.
Love that one. Love it. I've actually got 3 of them.
Aye.
3 of them.
I like my taps as well, mate. I like my taps.
That's my favourite home one. The next one would probably be the Lisbon Lions, the 50th anniversary. See the one with the gold and the crest.
Yep.
I think we won the Invincible treble.
Aye, it is. Gold alphabet. Hang me, was it? What do you call him? Done that with a hat trick Rangers. Dembele. Aye, that's right. Aye, so that was that season. I like that one and all, mate. But I don't like the fact that it's not an embroidered badge. I hate that.
Aye. I know.
What that strap here isn't embroidered. It's a vinyl. I hate that. The rest are all embroidered, and I love an embroidered badge. I hate the plasticky stuff. I'm not a lover of that. But a transfer, because as you know that these came off. That's a new Tenants. That's not original Tenants. That's a new Tenants, because the other one was all ripped off. And then you go and people will get you. So I'll get 4 or 5 taps that I've got re-sponsored, which is, don't get me wrong, it isn't cheap. Aye, peeled and broke, cracked or whatever. But
it was the same. See the away one behind you. That one, the Carling used to annoy me. The away one.
Aye.
The one that reminds me of Paul Hartley scoring in Moscow.
Right, aye. Brexit started breaking in the middle and all that, didn't it?
Hate it.
I hate that. Hate it. I know, mate. I know. Hate it myself. But
could do something a lot better.
Strip for me, obviously, you're saying that one stopping the 10 rings. I love the centenary tap, but also for an away, Bumblebee for me, the original Bumblebee with Cadet, DeCanio, Tom, Lloydon. That was a nailer for me. And my favourite tap of recent times would be the golden yellow. So green at the top, and then gold. Big Tam Rodgick, always remind of Tam Rodgick. And that's the thing, like, when you think you're a tap, Kev, so who do you see in that? Hartley. Do you see Hartley in that tap? Is that what you see? Know what I mean? And then I've got Joe Ledley would be in that one, there above me. That's the things that, and I always see a player and I think that's who's in that tap. Know what I mean? Like remember when Seville, the yellow tap, that season with the NTL Digital, I always think you did a gap in that. Just a gap I've got. So, but have you still got, see, like, obviously growing up, did you keep all your taps?
I've not kept them all. I'm actually looking now because they're in a wee tub in there. A lot of them. But there's a few of them that I'm raging that I can't find. I'm like, where are they? See, I had the original of this one. And I love this tap because of the Celtic inside the green hoops. I love the whites. I just love everything about it, the detail in it. This would probably be up there, I know, this one.
I know, I love that tap, I know, mate. But do you remember the big hoop? It was Umbro made it. Big hoop. So like Collins would have been there.
Had the inside
against Rangers. Aye, and again the patterns through the green and the white. Loved that, mate. Absolutely loved that tap. What I need to lose half my body to get into it, mate. I'd need to half my weight size to get back into it. There you go. But I love it like that. So favourite strips, always like that. Is there any strips in all that you think they were just horrible, or you didn't? Did you always get the strip, mate? Because a lot of people always just buy the strip because it's Celtic, or they always go to it as a present.
I always go to it to a certain age. I think for the last 10 years, I've always wanted the home one, and that was it. And if we get a nice away one, I'll go, well, I'll maybe buy that around about Christmas time. But the one that we had New Balance with the same colour as the ticket for Lisbon,
Aye,
I thought that was horrific.
Aye, horrible, mate, horrible.
When they start doing that, it's just like I was thinking to myself,
what are you thinking?
I was thinking to myself, see, like, with Adidas, they're obviously responsible. I think they're missing an absolute trick. I said, see, with the away strips, I've said to people time and time again, I went, all white, and see the stripes, green, white, and orange, and see the badge, get the old Trifo Adidas badge, green, white, and orange, and see the alphabet, green, white, and orange, and have it green, white, and orange down there. And I'm like, that would make a mint. Like, how the hell they don't do that? And then they come up with these designs, and you're like,
who thinks them? Who sits down and thinks marketing? I mean, I remember years ago they done a competition. It's still flying now, by the way, the flag. So if you look up at Celtic Park, there's a flag, and it says, well, obviously it's green and white strip with the hoops, and then it's got the badge in the middle, but other side it's got 4 bars. And some wee guy designed that, so he did, and won that, and that's still flying to this day. That was years and years ago. It was a competition in the Celtic view. Know what I mean? But I always remember that. But strips, mate, the Trifo, the actual Adidas sign, know your equipment, but it's on the ones. But the actual Adidas sign that we all know what I mean? Your classic Adidas. I would love that to be on your kit, but they say that we're no the elite to get that, and I can't understand why no. Know what I mean? Because we outsell strips all over the globe. Know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, boycotting it, mate. No bought anything for. It's killing me because some stuff's came out. I was like, I wanted that special stuff, and I wanted this and wanted that. My mate's like, I bought it, but I'm not wearing it until I said, well, you bought it, you gave them your money. It's not another penny. And this is the thing I know, this is not another penny thing, Kevin. So we're in the next round of the cup. Is it still not another penny? Because we're at a home tie. So are we going to, is the tickets going to get, people going to, everybody in the home cup ticket scheme is still on it? Because according to that, remember everybody was shouting there was tens of thousands came off it. Didn't work like that because you were scrambling for a ticket to go to Hampden. So I don't know, mate. I don't know.
I'm the exact same because we've got the Wayne's retro tap.
Aye.
Because again, and this year, I mean, I would own Clyde One for him after Rodgers got sacked or left. I was just like, everything about the club now is absolutely terrible. The way it's getting ready, then I'm like, it will get better. I'm thinking it'll get better. And then I'm looking at it now going, I mean, I said to you the other day, I went, at least we'll have a few signings to talk about. One. I was like, come on, man. Come on.
What is it? Kevin Cara? Thomas Kevin Cara.
It's like, it's just mad. It's absolutely mad. So, like, see, if we never had 60 or 70 million in the bank, I'd be less upset because I'd be going, it's all right. I mean, we're struggling now and you can understand, and you're sitting going, we've got the money. Spend it. Go and buy the boy for Motherwell. Go and buy the boy for Hibs. We spent 10 million on either.
Aye, this is the big thing for me. Like, we always leave it late and we always get priced. When I say priced out, but overpriced in the market.
Aye.
Know what I mean?
Well, that was the same.
Adam Ida was that. Ida was that. Engels was that. These guys came with a heavy price tag, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Know what I mean? And this is the thing that annoys me and all. Like, we're sitting here and the boy, what's his name from Motherwell? I can't remember his name, but he's top people. I go and buy him for £3 million. Who said he's worth? Who said he's estimated at £3 million? But that's what they're saying. And then you've got Stephen O'Donnell on the radio saying, well, he's worth £5 million.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And the guy said, well, you're just saying that. He said, well, you've just come on here and made an assumption that we're willing to sell him at £3 million. Mm-hmm. And that is it. Where is the balance? Where does it? How do you work out a value of a player? You know what I mean? For me, personally, the new, whatever it takes to win a league, whatever it takes. So if he's £5 million, he's £5 million. If the boy Bowie or the boy Mulligan, whatever for Hibs, if they're 3, 4 and £5 million, they're 3, 4, £5 million. If you want to win the league and you want to get the fans back on side as an organisation, as a board, as a club, and you've got to spend that money to make more money, because if you don't spend it, then you're at fault of running a business. So they'll say that they're looking after shareholders' best interest. The shareholders' best interest is to win the league again, to be successful, and then that income generates more money. So if we're not spending the money that we've got the opportunity to spend, then we're not just falling asleep at the wheel, mate. We're in a coma, we're deep sleeping. You know what I mean? So I hope we've got a week, haven't we? We've got just under a week to see what happens, and I'm sure we're guys in the position and now with Martin and Sean and that will be pushing as much as they can to try and get something in. But I like Martin O'Neill's philosophy. If they're not fitting the ball and they're not ready to play football, then we're not taking them. We're not just bringing people in for the sake of bringing them in. If we're going to add quality to the team, that's the way it should be.
I get all that, and it's totally sane to think that way, but I'm just thinking, we lost Kyogo a year ago, and still no replaced him. I mean, Greg Taylor, maybe people say about Tierney, but
unbelievable, big mate.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to say something stupid in case people go, oh, wait a minute here, but I'm sitting to myself, Greg Taylor would have been ideal in this team.
Look at his numbers, mate. His numbers are frightening for us. He was all of that park. All of the park. He was, although he played out at left back, he was there at the right hand wing. He was up the left hand wing. He was through the middle. He was covering for the right back. He was every single where on that part. And I said that, and when he went, I went, we're going to miss him big time. And we'll not realise it until it's too late. And then we'll say, well, man, if Taylor was there, it wouldn't have been like that when it happened. There'd have been a bit of balance. But
I just pushed him into midfield a few times, didn't you?
Aye, yep, pushed him on and progressed his game, and that's how he got spotted. That's how he got his move. And to be fair, we could have stopped that move. We could have made sure that he didn't go. We could have offered him more, and we should have been doing more to get him to stay. You know what I mean? There's disappointment. Aye, there's a talk of another free transfer of Andy Murray for Liverpool might be coming next season. We don't know. We'll see what happens here. But
see, I don't like on,
Kevin. No, you.
Sorry. I just saying before we move on to the next one, I don't like the fact that players wait until their full career's finished before they say, right, okay, I'll come and join Celtic because it's my boyhood dream. I go to all that with Robbie Keane and Roy Keane, and I'm just saying, I don't want that. You know what I mean?
No,
you don't know what his wages is.
But I think the thing with Andy Robertson was he was with us and we let him go, didn't he? We said he wasn't good enough for us, and if he wants to come back, hats off to him and just get a chance to play. But I totally agree with what you've said there. The days of the big money moves coming in at the end of the tail end of their career just to say they played for Celtic isn't for me either, mate. I'm not a badge kisser. I love my Celtic, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to let that's what annoyed me the other week when you call him Konecki scored his run about kissing the badge. I'm like, you've not been here long enough to do that, mate. You know what I mean? You're not good as enough to do that. But jumping on, mate, moving on, I know we play Hearts tomorrow, so I'll put this shoot first final. So we're playing Hearts today. Prediction for the game, mate? What's your predictions for the Hearts game?
I think we'll win 2-1, maybe 3-1. 2-1 or 3-1. If you want me to pick, I'll go for 3.
Aye. I think we've got a great chance to win. I think we're going to come off of this European game there, which was pretty good in order tonight. If anybody had said to you at the start of that, you'll be drawn 2 each with 10 men with 60 minutes to I'll finish 2 each. We had 10 men for 60 minutes. Would you take it? I said aye. But then when you watch it, you're like, we could have got something else out of that. You know what I mean? But hey, things it is what it is. We're still there to fight another day. That's in our hands, and now we move on. And we move to the Hearts game. And we're going to put in Thomas Kevin Carra. Looks like he's going to get that start, or he's going to be involved at some point. And that could be the talking point, because you think I'm trying to think. So Sinclair scored in his debut there for us. There's a couple of others scored in their debut there as well. My biggest thing I always remember somebody scoring at Tynecastle was Aidan McGeady, because it was snowing and he scored in his game there, and I always remember that. But hopefully he hits the ground running, this boy, and delivers what the weight of expectation is going to be on his shoulders. You know what I mean? He sounds like for it, 6'4", a big striker. That's what Martin O'Neill's previous time at Celtic was under. Big guys up front, somebody hold the ball in, bring it down, pass it on, spray it about. So I'm going for the win and all, mate. I'm going for the win and all. I'm thinking if we can get 3 goals, I'll love that. I'll love a 3-2, mate. I love a 3-2. That used to be
you know what I'm like with my predictions.
I know. So we'll probably end up 8-0 or something. You know what I mean, those two. But
that's what I was thinking at the Livingston game, but it was 2 each after 10 minutes. I went, well, there's my prediction blown right out the window after 10 minutes.
That's it. We've went to this Hearts game. Obviously, it's people say it's make or break. So they're sitting on 50, we're on 44. They've got 25 goals, we've got 18. I think it is. If we win this, then we bring it down to 3 points. If they win, they go 9. Ideally for us and for the whole of Scottish football, it's better that we get a win, because then it's still tight. It keeps it tight, keeps it interesting. Hearts pull away again, then there's possibility we're saying to ourselves, we're going to struggle to maybe pull them back twice now for 9 points, because we already did it under Martin O'Neill the first time he came in for that wee spell. But they've won 15, we've won 14. They've lost 2, we've lost 6. So under Martin O'Neill, but that's the thing. We've only conceded 1 goal in the league. So
I think we've been beat domestic.
Aye, 7 games undefeated under him. So it's looking good for us. It
was only the Midtjylland game that Martin O'Neill lost, wasn't it?
Aye, that's it, mate. Aye. So it's good for that. The last 5 games, I'm just looking at that there. The last 5 games head to head, we've won 3 and they've won 2, and it was the last 2 they've won. So we need to pay back. So it's payback time, mate.
I think we'll get the right manager in charge anyway to go there and do something tomorrow. I think that's what's going to be a lot of confidence.
Aye, and I think we've got the right attitude, mate, as well. That attitude there. And see if you watch back the goals for the other night for the unique Celtic angle in Europe. Obviously, we're celebrating, Trusty's celebrating and all that. Then McGregor's like, come on, keep it going in there to the crowd. And I love that. I loved it when McGregor's right into the camera one time. He's getting it, yes, come on. And see, sometimes I know where I sit, I look straight onto where they're doing the huddle and all, and he always, because he's facing the Celtic end, and he always goes in right at you. And I remember the other game, it was on the big screen. He's like, there's nothing, we cannot lose this game today. Whatever we do, we need to win. And it's just, you're like, brilliant. Whatever we do, we need to win. And that's it. Callum McGregor's, for me, is everything. If we're playing everything for him, and if he's playing, we're playing. And I think he's going to be really, really big for us tomorrow, mate. Really, really big.
I think when you look at the opposition as well, I think the players that they've lost as well have a massive impact on them. I think if Devlin was playing or Shankar was playing, you'd maybe go, maybe 1 goal might win it. But I think that'll I think it'll affect him big time.
It's an open game now. Open game, mate. Open game now, because they've lost a couple of good players. The keeper's out, I know, but don't get me wrong. Big Craig Gordon's in, who done outstanding for us when he was at ours, but hopefully he has a wee nightmare tomorrow. I still remember the one against us where he threw the ball in the net right to the death, which I loved. At Parkhead, I loved it. And then I remember him for us.
That, would you call him a Hearts fan on STV? He was on the Real Radio, you and Cameron.
Aye.
I came on the phone in the Real Radio and slaughtered him that night.
Brilliant. And then my best memory of Craig Gordon is when we was at Hampden, he's on his knees and he's like that. And he just, the background's just bedlam. We've just scored and it's just bedlam behind him, and he just loves it. And he said as well that that picture's iconic for him. But
his career was finished, wasn't it, really?
Aye, and listen, he came up here and he trained with Rangers before he signed with us, and that was the best thing ever, because they put all the time and effort into getting him fit and getting him ready. Then we just got and go, right, come to us. Storm for it underneath our nose. Obviously you said there, just a wee final shout out as well. You said you went to the away games on the Denison number 1. They're still going, still meeting in the wee man's and new wee man's. Still leaving for there.
There's a few of them that don't go in there anymore, but the bus still leaves for there. I think the Carlton leave for there as well.
Right.
I think it's Kev Feely's bus. They leave for there. But I've been getting the wee man's for years, so I practically know.
Aye. I like it. I know it's a good wee pub just for a pint, mate. You know what I mean? I do like it. And there's no many left down there, Kevin, to be honest. There's no many left. Too many pubs like that left.
It's a character pub, Toby. It's like you go in there and you get all the crack, you get all the jokes, you get all the banter, and it's like the old school banter where there's no holds barred. It's like
Aye, that's it. Take it or
nobody
leave
wants
it.
what they're saying, and it's hilarious. It's brilliant, and it's
And
even
it's
better
meant,
when you get
and
a good
it's
result.
aye, and it's meant with the love and affection it's put out to be. There's no meaning to do anything. It's just a laugh.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And that's it. And that's people need to realise that as well. So predictions for tomorrow. Obviously, both of us are going for a Celtic win, mate. So hopefully that's what happens. But Kevin, thanks very much. Obviously, for giving up your time coming on.
Right. No problem, mate. Pleasure.
Terrace TV
Cheers for having me on.
I know. Listen, maybe I'll get you back on later on in the year as well. And when we start going live and doing a live podcast, mate, we'll probably get you on for that as well. When we're talking about match day games as well. Just try to. Right. The reason for these is just to build up a bit of following, get people out there, see if they're getting an interest in it, and then take it to the next level and go live.
Right. You know I mean? Well, good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you.
No problem. Thanks very much, and hail. Hopefully, we'll get a win tomorrow.
Right, hail, mate.
Leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us